Everyone, we are so lucky to have Drew Bramley on 20 Questions this week. Drew, say hi to the people.
Hi to the people.
Hi to the people. He answers and he does what he's told. That's actually true, Drew. You're a very good, loyal kid, and you're a great son. And we're excited to be able to talk with you. And so let's just start asking the questions right off the bat. What is your favorite youth group game that we play at church?
If I had to choose, there's so many. It's hard to say actually. The one that I remember most vividly is probably Globular. That one has stuck out and always been a great fun game that we've played together.
Yeah. It's so hard to explain it for those that don't know, but if you've watched all these videos, other kids have said that that's their favorite game. What do you love about the game?
I love the fact that we get to run around. Just run around the entire church because you don't really get to do that when on Sundays in
Yeah,
Sunday morning church. Um, Running around is fun. It's a game that it's a team game, so it requires some kind of like team building, I guess. Like you work together to get people out because like when you move as a group, you're more threatening to the other team, I guess.
totally. There's strategy, there's just straight running and energy. But as you're saying, like just running through the different rooms of church, it's just such a cool vibe. It's for sure my favorite game, so I appreciate that it's yours as well. Second question that goes off of that, why do you think it's important that we play games at youth group?
I think it's pretty important. Cause like with these games, like we get all of our like energy out. Cause sometimes when you just like sit down in a room and have to listen, it gets a little bit hard.
Yeah.
And I think that the fact that we get to play games beforehand helps a lot. And
Great point, too. Have
yeah,
you ever been to youth group when I occasionally would try doing the lesson first and then the game after? Have you ever been to youth group when I did that?
I think maybe once, but if I did, I wouldn't have remembered.
Totally. And it also is not nearly as good of a situation at all. You're totally right. You got to get the energy out, and that's what works. So
Yes.
there's a lot of reasons we do it, and you hit on a lot of those. So you, Drew, live in Chicago proper. You're currently in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, which is cool. You got
Yeah.
two different places you can post up. But in Chicago, what's your favorite restaurant to eat at?
I'd probably say the restaurant it's called DMK. It's
Tell people who might not know what do they serve?
they serve like burgers, like one of those types of restaurants. They have good food. Like there's burgers, there's like a bar there.
So what
Uh
type of burger do you get, Drew?
so I usually get a burger with like bacon, sometimes lettuce if I'm in the mood.
What?
Cheese.
Sometimes you're in the mood for lettuce, sometimes you're not. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
What happens in a day where you're like, dude, it's a no lettuce day today?
When I'm feeling lazy, I guess. Like I'm just tired. I don't want lettuce.
Okay, that's just fun.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a good place. It's a great place. And do you like their fries or what do you get alongside of it?
Yeah, DMK's fries are insane. They have a Wisconsin cheddar cheesy fry option, which is amazing. It's like aged cheddar. But my favorite is their like spicy sauce fry.
Nice.
It may not sound that good, but it's actually like insanely good.
Dude, it sounds great, man.
I forgot the actual like what it's called on the menu, but like whatever.
You like a little spicy on your food, you can
Mhm.
handle it.
Yeah.
That's what's up, dude. So I told the people that you spent time in Chicago and the UP of Michigan. I'd love for you to compare those two areas in your mind. What are the differences?
Um it's really hard to compare. They're very different but very similar at the same time.
Yep.
I have to say they're very different. Chicago it has like so much noise and like so much is going on all at once. Like everything's moving, like there's no stopping. But here in the UP, it's a lot quieter. Like the only kinds of noises are like the nature and like what we make and like I feel like I can just like relax here.
Totally. Yeah, that's one of the, I feel like if you were to say the biggest differences is totally that noise. Especially you live not too far from Foster Avenue, right?
Yeah, I'm
People
2 blocks away. Yeah.
yeah, people know Foster Avenue and what that can bring, right? Even how many ambulances do you hear from like going towards Swedish? Does that happen much?
um, I'd say at least one a day. Sometimes there's none. Sometimes there's two or three, but like around one a day.
Totally. And you probably don't hear any ambulances in the UP of Michigan.
Not yet.
Not yet. And hopefully that's the way it stays. That's a good breakdown, my friend. So up there at Covenant Point, or up in the UP, there's a camp called Covenant Point. What's one of your favorite memories, either at Point or at Harbor? What comes to mind, dude?
um, Covenant Harbor, I've always remembered more as like I don't have I do have good memories there, but not as many because it's only like a day and a half that I get to actually spend there.
Yeah, for our junior high winter retreat, it's a little
Hmm.
shorter time, but you have a cabin on the same lake as Point.
Yeah.
You've been there more.
But with Point, I have a lot more memories because like last summer I literally spent, or no, not last summer. Last summer was Corona. 2 summers ago I spent 3 weeks straight up here on the island, and then like the next week at the mainland, and then for family camp. Like my best memories are on the island. Um, I've only been there for 2 years, but those 2 years have been some of the best years of my life at camp.
Yeah,
The island is so different from the mainland. There's so much that like you just have to be there to understand. It's
yeah.
yeah.
For those that don't know, there's no technology. You're in this kind of really autonomous, meaning it runs by itself place, and you're just with the same group for a week on an island.
Hmm.
It's super awesome.
Like when you first get there, you like wish that it would like speed up and go faster because there's no toilets either. You have
Yeah,
houses,
yeah.
and then like on the last like 3 days or so, you're just like, I don't want to leave anymore. Like,
Cool.
such a great place.
Amen, brother. Yeah. You're in 8th grade right now. Can you go to the island this summer, or are you done with that?
So, um, you go to the island, like, you can go to the island if the summer, like, that you're going into 6th grade. So, technically, I'm not supposed to be able to go into summer this year, to the island this year, but because of Corona, the camp director is letting us, all these 8th graders who didn't get the chance to have their last year at the island, they get to go this summer, or
Yep.
possibly
Yeah,
this summer.
depending on a lot of other things.
Yeah.
So, when Chicago here, we don't have snow, but do you have snow up in Michigan?
Yeah, we've had a little bit of snow, not too much.
Yeah,
Like the most we've had at one time was maybe like less than an inch, but like we'll get these little flurries.
yeah. Do you like snow overall, Drew?
No. I mean, occasionally I like the snow when I'm like going on a winter retreat like to Point.
Yeah.
Like then I like snow. But in Chicago, snow is a no-no because it's just like it the snow is gross first of all. It's like slushy, and if you eat it it tastes weird sometimes.
Dude, you just gave us a bumper sticker. In Chicago, snow is a no-no. That was incredible. That needs to be like a slogan that more people are saying. I love that.
Maybe.
Let's talk about good things of winter. Or actually, let's go here. What's your favorite holiday?
Holiday. I know it's going against everything I've said, but it is Christmas.
Oh, that's all good. Why do you like it?
um I like Christmas because we get together with family. Like I know we do that with Thanksgiving, but like Christmas is just I just feel more together, and like the presents are nice.
The present
um
is kind of a good thing.
yeah, like not only is like getting presents nice, but just that feeling of like giving presents and having people feel happy. Like that's also a good one. If I couldn't choose Christmas, I'd say Halloween.
Yeah,
Although I did chip my tooth this year,
wait, you chipped your tooth?
a little tiny bit.
I don't think I knew that. What happened?
So I was eating a candy bar, and I don't know, I just did.
I was eating a candy bar, and I just did. Well, hey, Christmas is a great holiday. You got nothing. Even if you're not a huge snow guy, it's still a good holiday.
Mhm.
What's one thing you'll be asking for on your Christmas list this year?
Um, what I want is a new phone. I know that's like everyone wants a phone, but like this, I like kind of do need one. My phone, I have a 6S right now, which is not the best phone. It's going outside of like Apple Care and support soon, so like I want to get. I don't want like the new fancy 10 or 11 or 12. I want the 10.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, before this phone call, you straight up said my phone might die. And that's when you know like a new phone might not be like a want as much as like a need, right? If you're just like, I can't do the things that I'm supposed to do because my phone keeps dying, that's
mhm.
important.
My
So
phone, yeah, it has terrible battery. It dies so fast. It is so slow when I'm like trying to load things.
totally. If anyone
Like
knows you,
sometimes,
if anyone knows you, Drew, they know you're not a materialistic person. So you do not need to worry about sounding like somebody who's like, oh, I just want the new phone. We all know that that's not your motives. But yeah, I'm interested to see if you get one or if Santa has other things in store for you. Let's
I
let's
have a
go
good
here. Let's go
what?
with this question. Favorite dinner that your family eats?
Hmm, I don't know. There's so many. We have a lot of different dinners. There's not like a specific dinner.
What's one that you like? Maybe it doesn't have to be your absolute favorite.
There's so many. Um, my dad makes really good stew. Like we like cut the potatoes, carrots, so we cut all of it and like make it together. It takes like hours upon hours. I love my dad's smoked ribs and my mom's mac and cheese. That's also really good. Um,
I think you just made everybody hungry who's listening to this. When you hear smoked ribs and mac and cheese from Grant and Rachel, oh my goodness, that sounds awesome.
I also love my dad's chili because we do have a secret ingredient in our recipe.
And you know what it is?
Yeah,
Let's go, dude.
absolutely.
I'm gonna figure that out one day.
That'd
That's plenty. Those are great things, Drew.
be,
That's really now. I think all of us are hungry. Let's talk about your family some more. You are the oldest of four kids. How is
yeah.
that, Drew? Oh,
Um, I don't know. They can be very difficult and annoying at times. Like if I'm trying to babysit and like put them to bed, they no, they
how
no.
often? How often do you babysit?
Well, back in Chicago before Corona, I'd probably babysit like once every week or 2 weeks. So that'd be nice.
Do you do it less now with Corona?
Oh yeah, I've done it like maybe about 5 times over all of Corona. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, it's also it's also annoying when I have like a friend over because my friends all they want to do is hang out with my friend and it's super bad because my brother has a terrible like reputation of smashing on my door when he wants to get inside. So somehow we all get in trouble when he does that.
That's the older sibling thing, right? Somehow you're wrapped into it. I'm the youngest, so I would wrap other people into it, but I get it, man. And I've seen you. You're a really good older brother, Drew, and that's awesome to see. Favorite movie from your childhood?
I don't know. I'm still in my childhood, so I haven't decided yet.
Would you
I
say
don't
that
know.
you're still in your childhood, or would you say you're in youth?
I guess I'd say I'm in youth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never really had a favorite childhood movie. I guess like The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit were really good to me. Like they were filled with like lore and adventure and a ton of stuff. Otherwise like Marvel movies were really interesting for me. Like I remember specifically one was I think it was Captain America Civil War. Like I was at a sleepover with some friends and we were up until like 3 a.m. watching movies and One of them was King Kong, and then we watched Civil War, and I thought that was a really good movie.
So you like fictional
Yeah.
superhero? Give me that new universe. That all gets you
Yeah,
excited.
I also like Star Wars. Those are another other good ones.
I've heard of those. I think most people that are listening to this have heard of it.
Mhm.
And speaking of kind of a fantasy world, one thing I love about you, Drew, is you play Dungeons and Dragons, and sometimes you bring your stuff on a retreat, or I know you play with your friends. What's one thing you like about playing that game?
Once again, I love the lore and adventure. Like literally, if you have the right dungeon master, anything can happen. In one of my D&D missions at school, my friend he had to go like do something because he forgot about it. So he I was one of the actual campaign members, but because he trusted me enough, he's like, Drew, you have to lead D&D today. I was like, what? So I ended up doing that, and
Was it
they
fun?
had to, yeah. So all he told me is that they had to somehow get into a fight with a dragon, which is what we'd be doing next episode. So like I made it that they like wandered into this near this like found this dragon, and then like he was actually really nice and invited them to drink tea, and then they accidentally broke the dragon's china, so we got mad at them, and then we resumed the next day with Axel.
Oh, it was Axel who gave
Yeah,
you
it was
that?
Axel.
That's awesome. Shout out to Axel. He's come on our retreats, and it's always fun when he's with us.
hmm
So I know the year 2020 has had a lot of things that have not been ideal, but what's been one of your favorite things about this specific year?
I'm probably gonna have a lot of people dislike when I say this, but probably Corona, because without Corona, we never would have had our cabin. Um, like if we were
So what I hear
to
from you is you like that you have a cabin less than
okay,
you.
yeah, the cabin, not Corona, the cabin.
Yeah, but
But
I know what you mean.
without Corona, like if we were doing in-person school, I wouldn't be able to be here right now.
Totally.
So
And you like this rhythm of being in a small town in Michigan, and it's been good.
yeah, yes, I do.
That's awesome, Drew. If you could ask God one question, what do you think you would ask God?
I don't know. There's a lot of things, I guess. I guess like what's it like to be able to like see into everyone's lives, I guess? Like what is that feeling just like be able to see everything?
Yeah. I kind of think those questions too, and I feel like our human brains like can't even understand it, right?
Nope.
Like God's answer to you in that moment, like you won't be able to in this side of heaven like understand it because our brains like can't compute, right? It's like system overload. It just can't go. But man, how awesome would it be to be able to understand that?
Agreed, yeah.
I'm with you. So we were talking about playing games at church, and some of the games we play they involve hiding. If you were to hide in one room at church, what do you think is the room you go to? You don't have to say the spot. You don't have to tell where your go-tos are, but what's the place you would hide at?
The costume closet.
That's a nice one, dude.
Usually we aren't allowed in there, but the one time that I was right in the middle and no one found me.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you know that we've now made it off limits. But there's some games, we play different rules of where you can hide or not. And yeah, I don't think people think to go in there. It's just they're running around in other places.
Yeah.
Here's a would you rather. Would you rather have no pets forever? You cannot have any pets in your house, or you have to have five and or more. Cats, dogs, whatever. Do you want a lot of pets or no pets?
All the pets. I don't care. No pets, like for a long period. So about maybe 5 years ago, my we had two dogs actually. One of them died about 7 years ago, but the one that I remembered more and was with longer, he died about 5 years ago. His name was Samson. He was a yellow lab. He was great. He had stomach tumors, and he was getting hard for him to walk, and it was his time. But in that time period, it was really hard without a pet. Like no one was there to greet you when you walked in the door. It was hard. And then about a year and a half ago, or no, wait, yeah, 2 years
Oh,
ago. So
I'm
2
so
years
out of
ago
know
in September,
Corona.
2019 September. I think that's about a. I don't know my math. Okay, I think a year and like a few months is when we got Chloe. She's our we call her a yellow lab. It's just simpler. She's a mega mutt, but she's mostly lab.
Yeah.
Um, it's like 50 different breeds. It's insane. So many. Well, not 50.
Well, what I hear you talking about, man, is how much you just love pets and like
Yeah.
what they offer your life and the joy they bring. And so you'd
Mhm.
much rather have a lot of them. In fact, maybe you'd even be excited about that than have no pets
Yeah.
at all.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. I love that answer. So if you had a favorite Bible verse, what would you say that would be?
Um, there have been a lot of Bible verses that have like stuck out to me before, but I can never remember what or where they're from in the Bible. But
Yeah.
like, I feel like the most have come from Psalms.
Yeah.
That one I just feel like that's stuck out to me a little bit more than others.
Well, what's great about Psalms is it's kind of like you just read the whole thing and it kind of like impacts you. It's less of like a quote, right? Sometimes people's favorite Bible verses is really just like a quote. Songs are meant to be, or the Psalms are meant to be a song and like poetry and just kind of like let that impact you. So what I hear you saying is like that whole kind of process. That's
Yeah.
meaningful to you. You don't need just a quote. You kind of want to be absorbed by it all. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
I like that, dude. I like that. What's one thing you hope for in 2021?
Um, Probably the end of Corona. Corona has kind of sucked a lot, actually. There have
Yeah.
been some benefits and some crap because I can't really go outside into public places anymore, like the store with my dad. Like
Yeah.
I used to love going to the store because like we could get it done so much faster. Like, well, my dad like stood at like the meat counter, like he'd give me part of the he'd like tell me what to go grab because I've been to the store that many times and I just go find it, go grab it, and bring it back, and it'd be fun.
Would you all go to the Jewel Osco on Foster and Pulaski?
Actually, the Jewel Osco was only like emergency, like last second runs. We went to Mariano's. It was like maybe
Yeah,
3 times farther away, but it's not that far.
it's a good store.
Yeah.
Yeah, those like just the kind of those like moments together where you were kind of able to just operate and not have to worry about so much. Just go be with your dad and shop in. I hear you. I miss that stuff, and I'm hopeful for it too. So, what's your last two questions? We ask everybody these two questions. What's your favorite part of Winnetka Covenant Youth Ministry?
There's a lot. There's so much. I don't know. I really don't know. Uh,
Are you gonna give the classic "I love everything" answer?
yeah.
It's like it's at camp when somebody asks you what's your favorite part of the week. I loved everything.
Yeah, you can't answer.
But that's great to hear, Drew, because that means again, like the whole experience just is kind of what matters to you. It's not whether we play a certain game or whether a certain, one of your friends is there or not. It doesn't matter. It's like the whole thing is what's important, right?
Yeah.
I love that. Is there any last question? Anything you want the people to know about you? Anything you want to tell them?
I like ping pong.
Here's the man who likes ping pong. Would you say you're good at it or you just like it?
I'm decent. Might take me a minute to get used to like the table or the paddle or the ball.
Yeah. I bet
Yeah.
you're pretty good at it if you're being that humble. Drew, we love that you're in our youth group. We're so happy that you are, thriving as you are. We wish we were up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan all hanging out and playing in the snow and doing great retreat stuff. But until then, we will enjoy all that we have here. Drew, on 20 questions, we always sign out by saying if you're going to ask 20 questions, you need to ask them one at a time. So until next time, folks, bye-bye.
Bye bye.